afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Scotland on a really miserable day, but we're still positive because we're crafters and we always have something nice that we can do. I'm here to show you a project that I've done with the latest collaboration between Artymaze, Andrea, and Tracie Fox of DebbiesJournals, and it's amazing. The kit is called Construction Cards. Now, I'm not going to show you all the pages, I'll just show you a couple because both Andrea and Tracie, plus the lovely Wendy and Leo, have done a show of all the pages. To get the full kit, you buy one half from one shop and one half from the other shop, which I will link below. You don't have to buy both parts. You can just buy one part and play with that. That is really up to you. Now, I'm just going to show you a couple of these before I show you the project I made. This will give you a rough idea of the types of journaling cards that are in it. Then you get pages like this, where you'll get a large journaling card, a slightly smaller one, that are really great for popping on top and layering, and you get some amazing ephemera. I just absolutely love the butterflies on this one. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And here's our Tracie moth. We know our Tracie and her bugs. I keep joking to her about her ugly bug ball. Now, the other thing that Tracie's released this week is Vintage Scraps 1885. She's got this book and it's just about falling apart now. So what she's done is she's copied them, the bits of page that she's got. Now, you can cut these out and use them on tags, or you can rip round them and use them on collage sheets, which I think would be absolutely awesome. There are just 2 pages, but they are beautiful, absolutely beautiful images. Now that's Vintage Scraps 1885. I will link this as well. I've used some of these in my make. It came out when I was halfway through, and so I decided to include it. The other thing I've included in, when I did a video on aged ephemera, I printed off some of Tracie's Vintage Tickets set B. There is a set A as well, and I wanted to show you, you get on set B you get 5 sheets with all these beautiful tags on. If you print these on sugar paper, now sugar paper is the paper that children paint on at school. It comes in those lovely colours like yellow and mauve, those sort of colours, and it's quite a rough texture to it. Or if you print this on, or if you print this on the Amazon paper, you know, the stuff that you're packing paper, fab, absolutely fab for making tickets, which I'll show you shortly. Now, this is just 2 pages. Again, there are 5 in set B, and you get purple ones and green ones, which I'll show you in my make. So this is another one that I will link, so you could go along and have a wee look. Now, what I decided to do is to do a wee ring binder. So I've the front cover, what I did was I used this is a file folder. Now obviously in this country you can get the Panda files, Panda Hall, but they come from America, take quite a long time to get here, but they are cream, but they are smaller than the ones we get here, which is rather strange. Ours are full scap here. So I've used that to use just for my cover, and I've waxed, this is called acrylic wax. Let me just show you the one that I'm using, acrylic wax here. Andrea, Artymaze, uses acrylic wax a lot on her stuff, and it gives the most beautiful look. It looks like it's waxed, but it's not. And I've called this journal Reflections. All of this ephemera comes from the kit. Now I've put it together with some beautiful sari silk, and the colour just goes so well with the rest of it. Now I'm going to go through the pages one at a time. That's it. and I got caught up on the big bit of the ring like you do. Okay, so first page. These couple of bits here come from something called Fabrica, and it was a couple of there's 10 pages in a little packet like you would Stamperia, and they're from Dahlia. I will link them as well. There's a summer one and there's a winter one, and a spring one, and on the actual back of the slip of paper that you get that tells you what's in it, you know, with all the different papers put together, you've got some beautiful cutouts that you can use, some beautiful fussy cuts. This piece of paper was all together, and I cut them up into individual tags, so I will link that one as well. Now all this ephemera, I've backed a lot of it with the lovely card again that I've used for the cover. This one is off one of those pages from the Fabrica. And then here again I've got a little side pocket here. This is one of the mini tags, you know, the journal pages that I showed you before, the really tiny ones. And this is all ephemera from the same kit. I've put some music paper under here. Now what I've done now is I've put a journal card in between two cards. I'm hoping you can see that all the way through this book. I've got some which are side pockets and some are top loading pockets, so each page is 3 journaling cards altogether. So you've got one there, then you've got the back, and this has got a vintage stamp from the kit, but this is a vintage stamp from out of my collection of vintage stamps. This is a journaling card so that you can actually journal on this. And on the back, this paper is my old school paper that I had when I was like about 12. So it's like 40 years old, this. I won't pop all the cards back in while I'm doing this. I can do that later. The butterflies you can double up in the kit. As you can see, this is 2 together. There's a lot of beautiful words in there too. Here we have, whoops, we've got some muslin underneath here. And I love this one with the dragonfly. And these are all in the kit as well. And then you've got another journaling card in the back. And here we have the butterfly. I absolutely adore these gladioli. I love the idea of them coming off the page. I thought that made an absolutely beautiful look to put into your journal. Here I've just cut one of the medium-sized ones in half to make a tuck spot. And then with the tiny little ones, I've made 2 cards. Again, these are all vintage stamps that I've popped on. This side, it quite surprised me to see pink. I know Artymaze, Andrea likes her pink, but our Tracie's more of a browns and beiges, so it was lovely to see a bit of colour in this kit. Another beautiful vintage stamp here, small muslin. This image came from the Graphics Fairy, and I put it down. I reduced it by 80%, so it was down to 20%, and then I've put beeswax over it to give it that lovely translucent look. Again, here's another vintage stamp, and I've used some brads on these. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now, a lot of us are doing these at the moment. They're these are what you would put a coin in. And I think it was Wendy and Leo who first did this. Now, instead of punching a hole like I would normally do so that you could see it right the way through, I thought it looked lovely with this background for the card on it, so I've left it like that. Here's the vintage ephemera that I did. Now these are actually printed on the Amazon packaging, and really you cannot really, apart from the fact that they are thinner than I think, you know, a normal one would be, they just look amazing. They look aged and they look fabulous. The wee holes here, if you go to Tracie's, her website, she has a link for this on Amazon. It's a stapleless stapler and it just looks perfect. I can still remember the man coming round with that silver machine and giving you tickets, and then the punching of your tickets. We had big red double-decker buses where I used to live in Surrey, and you know, the bad girls would all go upstairs and sit at the back of the bus smoking. In those days, you know, they got away with it. I think it was number 7, if I remember correctly. I still remember a friend of mine asked me to look after her cigarettes. I didn't smoke, but she did. And my dad found them and went absolutely nuts at me. But once he'd calmed down, I was able to explain who they belonged to. He understood perfectly and told me not to do it again. But that's not quite as good as the one where my mum found Amplex capsules in my cupboard. My dad used to get them quite a lot, and I'm not sure why I had them. I think it must have been, oh, they look really, you know, grown up or something. And she was working at a chemist at the time, and she took them to the chemist and had them analysed, thinking I was on drugs. I was only at school at the time. Oh dear. Life. It all makes a giggle, doesn't it? Anyway, back to our book. So let's take the tag out of this side. Isn't this image beautiful? These are the wee doilies that I make on the Scan and Cut, and they're fab. And what I've done is I've actually coloured these with Kool-Aid, and this is the mango coloured Kool-Aid, because I was doing some papers the other day. They're absolutely lovely. And then there's another tag at the top here, and this has got vintage stamps on again. This butterfly, again, I've put the wax on. You know, I've ironed the beeswax, and it gives just such a lovely colouring to it. Absolutely beautiful. I've used a bit more of the aged ephemera that I made on here. And then here we've got a little bit more of the Fabrica that I used. And I've put one of these. This is when I was aging the ephemera. I made this up, and these little stamps I put on top of it after I've printed it off, and that's in here as well. I've put little bits extra from the kit in here. Now on the back of this one, oops, sorry, we're getting caught up. On the back of this one, I've done another one of the little floral pockets from the Queens. And again, it's got some little bits of ephemera in the pocket. Oops. And there's a 1930 calendar. And in here, another card. And again, it's got a vintage stamp on it. Another butterfly with the wax on. These are the fussy cuts that I was telling you about before from Fabrica. They're absolutely beautiful. And here too, these came from the same kit. Really, really beautiful. And as I say, they've all got my school paper on the back. Andrea and Tracie's again. And this, I just love this card. I really do. It's absolutely beautiful. Again, you know, I've put some paper on that one because it was a larger one. There's lots and lots of room for journaling in this. If you want this, you would, you've got room for journaling. You can take some of the ephemera out if you'd like to, and you can put your own in, and photographs and all sorts in here. This is one of the images from Tracie's tear sheets that she's just done, the vintage scraps. I think that really lovely, and they really complement this so perfectly. I've put a few through the book. Tracie moth, I've also done a bit of stamping through here as well. The stamps that I've used are Chocolate Baroque. I will put them in the link below as well. I've known Leslie for about 4 or 5 years now. She loved the company so much she bought it. It was one of those with our Leslie. Here again, another vintage stamp, and I've stamped paid on here. And at the back here, I've made a tiny little notebook. Now, when I said about the mango paper, I've put a sheet of the mango paper in here, but I've also sprayed one side of it with Seth Apter sprays, which has given it a lovely look. And I've done some stamping. Again, these are all from Chocolate Baroque. So you've got a lovely little notebook here with different bits of stamping in. And I've actually machine sewn this one. I didn't actually do the pamphlet stitch because it was so tiny. And I put some lace on the back just to give it a bit more strength, so that it doesn't fall apart as soon as you start opening and playing with it. And the back, it just ends with a wee stamp again. And again, on the back, I've put the acrylic liquid wax. So I hope you enjoyed my wee flip through. I've actually put the photographs and done the description and got everything for this to go into my Etsy store. I've just got to go through it again to make sure it's all okay. So this will be the first thing to go into my Etsy store, and then I will put the Arthur journal up as well. And I've got some other things I want to put in at the same time. So please go and have a look. I would love your support. I will send this anywhere, free postage. That's what I'm down for, because I think nowadays when you look at something and you look at the price and then you look at how much it costs to post something, I want to try and keep that down until I get a bit more experience at selling and, see how we go. Because I do this for my enjoyment. It's not because I wanted to make a lot of money out of it. It's not my living. I think that's what I need to say. So thank you so very much for watching this. Thank you for supporting me. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. There is a giveaway going on, and it's open to everybody. It's international, and that video will be up after this one. They'll both go up about the same time. So please go and have a look at that one as well. And if you're taking part in the race to 1,000, please let me know so that I can give you a shout out and put your name down so that other people see it and they can go over and subscribe to you, because it's so important that the smaller ones of us who have only got maybe 100 or 200 subscribers get more subscribers, so that if you get further up, you're going to get more reaction to what you're doing, and it makes it easier to sell things, and it makes you feel good. It really does. So thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day. I'm just watching the birds arriving for their dinner, so I better go and put some more bird seed out. Thank you. Bye.